set yourself up for success in the home buying process. Hello, everybody. Super excited. We have an amazing guest today. She is an expert in all things mortgage related, and especially she is a wealth of knowledge when it comes um, to what is it called, Julia?
Any sort of first-time homebuyer program or down payment assistance or even self-employed loans, you name it.
You name it. Okay. So, hello, everybody. My name is Roxanne Gavari with Pemberley Realty here in San Diego, California, along with my partner, Santiago Guerin.
Hello, everyone. Great topic today. Julia's amazing, so I'm ready to dive right into it.
Yeah. And Julia is a wealth of knowledge with Guild Mortgage. So, take it away, Julia. Tell us about yourself, who you are, where do you practice, and what's your specialty in the mortgage world?
Sounds good. Well, my name is Julia Cruz. I'm with Guild Mortgage. This year I celebrate 20 years as a loan officer, which is super awesome. I can't believe it's been that long. I work for Guild Mortgage. I've been at Guild 14 years. One of my specialties is the hand-holding and the first-time homebuyer programs. That's what brings me the most joy, is helping borrowers to get in their first home. I'm also very education forward. I want every borrower, real estate agent, everyone to know all the education and all the background of what they're going through. I think it eases a lot of the stress. Mm-hmm. So this Saturday, I'm hosting a Homebuyer Workshop. So for anyone that is thinking about buying a home, whether it's next month or next year, I think this is a good opportunity to come and learn all about the home buying process, about loans, and how to set yourself up for success. And we're also going to be very interactive. I'm going to get the audience involved. It'll be really fun.
All right. That is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you're doing educational work. So that is super cool. And let me see if I can pull up your registration form so that we can share that with the audience and get them to register for it. So
do you want me to give a little more details about what we'll be going over on Saturday?
Sure. Yes, okay. Please do.
All right. Awesome. So on Saturday, we're really going to dive deep into not only what I can do for you, but what Guild can do. And then we're going to talk about all the elements of getting qualified for a home loan. We're also going to talk about different down payment assistance. So I'm here in San Diego. I can do loans in the whole state of California. And actually, I can partner with corporate to do loans in pretty much all the country, just not New York State. That's the only one. So I've helped buyers in other states as well. So on Saturday, we're just going to go slide by slide, and we're going to talk about credit. We're going to talk about debt to income. We're going to go through a lot of mortgage terms. And again, this is really just to get borrowers educated no matter where they're at in getting ready for the home buyer process, so that when they do take that next step, which the next step would be doing a pre-approval, they feel a lot more confident. And I probably will have time after if anyone wants to sit down one-on-one and ask individual questions. We're going to have a little fun. I'm going to have a whiteboard, and we're going to have the audience make up a borrower. Because I think if you see things in like with actual examples, it really helps make things make sense. And when you're qualifying for a home loan, debt to income is probably the biggest driving factor. So we're going to illustrate that. And I think that's going to be really key. One program I'm going to talk about on Saturday, which is very timely, is the CalHFA Dream for All program. And we can talk about that in a little bit. But I also will have, if anyone has children 5 or up that could sit in the back of the room, we're going to have some kid activities in the back of the room. So if you're a family and you have children and you want to come to this hour event, I think bring your children. I'll have my teenager in the back of the room helping with coloring and crafts and things like that. So here's the Dream for All program. Can we dive into that, Roxanne? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go for it.
Okay. So there's a lot of first-time homebuyer programs out there. And when I meet with my borrowers, we're going to look at all the programs they qualify for and then narrow down what's a good fit for them. This program is coming out. This program's been out a few times before. So it's through CalHFA, which is a state agency. And this program, what it is the borrower gets 20% down up to $150,000 in down payment assistance. That down payment assistance comes in the form of a shared appreciation loan. So before we get into what that is, let's talk about how you qualify and how the program works. So to qualify for this program, all borrowers must be first-time home buyers. That's the first thing. The third thing is at least one of the borrowers needs to be a first-generation home buyer. So that means your parents don't own or haven't owned in the last year. It clarifies if a parent that owns a mobile home, like a chattel, like not a permanently fixed, you would still qualify. That's not real property. And then the other thing is they need to be a California resident. So there's some basics they need to qualify for. In addition to that, the household needs to make under, and for San Diego County anyway, under $207,000. So if this seems like something that you might qualify for and you're interested in, reach out so I can go through all the details. But let's talk about one of the key elements of this program. It is a lottery system. So not everyone is going to get a voucher. So the voucher window opens on February 24th and closes on March 16th. So what happens is you need to get pre-approved by an approved lender. Well, I'm one of those. And then have your pre-approval letter ready. And there's another list of documents you have to have. And then the borrower is the one that goes into the CalHFA portal to submit, like kind of like putting your name into a hat, submit to see if you get a voucher. So, yeah. So once it's not a first come first serve. You just have to get your submit in during that time frame. And then it probably will take a couple weeks after March 16th for them to pull the vouchers. They're pulled at random. There's so many per county, and then the whole state of California. So it is a small amount of people that will get a voucher to utilize this program. But I have to say, it's a great program. It's like, why not try and put your name in the hat and see if you get pulled, right? Another thing, so to kind of dive in about the shared appreciation part of it. So what it is, again, if you get $150,000 from this program, you can use it for down payment and closing costs. I closed a borrower last year with this program and she utilized it. So she came in with very little money. We structured her loan that way. It was a super win. But how it works is down the road, when you go to sell and you have this loan, there's no payments on it, but you have this second mortgage, you do need to pay that back. And when you go and sell, not only do you pay back the $150,000 you borrowed, you will give 20% of your appreciation in addition. And all the money just goes back into the program to help another first-time home buyer or first-generation home buyer. So to me, to have that large amount of assistance to help bring down their monthly payment is a huge, huge win. And might as well give it a shot and see if your name gets pulled. I do think it's go ahead, Roxanne.
And I'm thinking if you're going for this program and you're automatically coming down with a 20% down payment, you're not going to have PMI, which also creates a huge amount of savings.
Correct. That's a huge win. So in that case, the borrower would just have to pay for their closing costs.
Right. And to the audience, PMI stands for private mortgage insurance. And if you're putting less than 20%, you're paying PMI on every loan, and it comes to a couple of $100 at least on monthly payments, which can be significant to a borrower's pocket.
Yeah, and then just bringing down the amount of the mortgage you're paying on also makes a huge difference in your monthly payment. So it's a huge win. I do advise borrowers when we're getting pre-approved for this program that we should look at all the other down payment assistance programs so they have option B. So if they don't get a voucher, then they can move forward with option B. So super neat program. Everyone's really hyped about it. So just remember, time to get pre-approved is now, so you're ready to submit during that window time frame.
Can you tell us about what's going on? Do you see a lot of activity with borrowers starting the process? Are you seeing hesitation? What's the sentiment that you see in the market in general?
I have a lot of buyers that are going to be submitting for this program. They're super excited to see, they have the chance to get this voucher. So there's a lot of excitement around this program because, again, the income limits are so high compared to some of the other programs that offer large assistance. So there's a larger pool of borrowers this can qualify for this. Yeah. So there's a lot of excitement about this program. It's super cool. And then on the listing side or on the selling side, you're not really going to see any difference than a traditional loan. So that's also super positive. I know buyers might not realize that, but the agents out there are going to realize, hey, this is awesome. There's no extra time needed or anything like that to get this deal closed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And Julia, quick question. Once you do get the voucher, how much time do you have for is there a time frame that you have?
Yeah, I believe the window is 90 days to go into escrow, but you might be able to apply for extension if you don't. But there is a time frame that you need to go get into contract.
Okay.
So, yeah. Any other questions about this program, or if there's any other programs you want to just bring up, I'm happy to chat about it.
If you want to go over some other programs that you may have in terms of down payment assistance, that would be very beneficial.
Cool. I don't have a flyer ready on this one, but I do want to talk about the San Diego Housing Commission Middle Income Program. So this program is only for property purchased in the city of San Diego. But again, this is another program where the income limits are relatively high. I don't have the income limits off the top of my head, but they're probably like 150, 170, somewhere in there. I'd have to look it up. And it's per household size. But the San Diego Housing Commission is a local agency here in San Diego, and this program offers $40,000 in down payment assistance. There's no payments for the first 5 years, and after that, they'll start making monthly payments in year 6, and it's a fixed 15-year at a 4% interest rate. In addition to that, they get $10,000 in a closing cost credit that's forgiven, I believe, after 3 years. So this is a neat program. Again, it's a larger pool of borrowers because the income limits are a little higher. And that 40,000, that 50,000 in total is really going to make a nice dent. And I believe the down payment required from the borrower is only 1.5%, but they can put up to 20% down. So there's a lot of flexibility in that.
And what's the requirements for? Is it something close to this Dream for All, where you actually have to have like a window to apply, or how do you actually qualify for that program?
So this one's different. So this one, I don't want to say there's always funding, but there's generally funding. They will run out at some point for the program, but there is funding available. So it's not like a window where you got to rush and get it in. There's going to be more access to this funding. You do have to be a first-time home buyer for the middle income program, but you don't have to be a first-generation home buyer. Okay. So if you qualify and there's funds available, then you go out and start looking for a property. Every once in a while, funds will deplete, and then we have to wait for the next set of funds.
I know for FHA that even if you have been a homeowner before, but you haven't been a homeowner for the past 4 years, you qualify again as a borrower under the FHA program. Is that something that these programs work with as well, or is it strictly first-time buyers?
The general rule of thumb is you're considered a first-time home buyer if you haven't owned in the last 3 tax years. Like if you can prove that. There's some programs that are a little stricter than that, but I believe both of these, that's the rule, is the 3-year rule. So that, again, opens window if you had owned in the past. But I mean, the borrower I helped last year with the Dream for All, she had owned, I believe it was like 8 or 10 years prior, and had sold 8 or 10 years prior. So she was, again, considered a first-time home buyer. So.
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, both of these programs are great. There's a lot of also small programs through CalHFA that give you a little bit of assistance if you're like, I have enough money, but I need a little bit more. And those income limits are around $200,000 too. So I think the key is the borrower needs to sit down with a loan officer like me and see what all programs that they qualify for. There's so much out there you don't even know is available to you that can help you get into that home. You might have that little gap, and that might help you get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very interesting because I think the majority of the buyers, and I don't know about majority, but a lot of buyers don't realize that the first step to actually purchasing a property is to go and get qualified for a loan before you even look at the property. And this is really good that you're you're basically putting this out there to let people know that no, that's the very first step. Very first step is to get qualified for a loan.
Yeah. And I know it's a big step for a lot of people to start the pre-approval process, but just know, like, especially when it comes to working with me, is that, we're going to do an initial call, we're going to do a pre-approval, and we're going to have a nice long meeting after the pre-approval to go through everything and educate the borrower. There's no cost for this. There's no commitment. It's never too early. So I know it's a little scary to take that first step, but until you do that and go through that process, you're just not going to know either where you're at or what you can do to improve. And that's, again, why I'm doing this workshop on Saturday, is to give people that opportunity to come and start getting educated and start getting a little more comfortable.
And I'm noticing that you are putting a lot of emphasis on education. And of course, the programs that you're offering are very unique. So, so I would imagine that there's no need to actually talk about interest rates, but I'm sure that there are borrowers out there that are interest rate sensitive. Mm-hmm. How do you address that? Number one, and how do these programs work with folks if they're trying to refinance?
Okay, so as far as refinancing, I believe with the Dream for All, you have the opportunity to refinance once on a rate and term down the road. But after that, if you go to refinance a second time, they're going to have the second due and payable. So you do have one opportunity to bring down your interest rate. Same thing with the middle income program. A lot of down payment assistance programs will subordinate when you do a rate and term. I know that may not make sense, but basically they'll keep that second mortgage in place and allow you to do a refinance where you do reduce your interest rate and you don't get any cash out. So, I hope that answers your question. I mean, both programs are going to require obviously a first mortgage, and that first mortgage interest rates can be determined on the borrower themselves, credit, loan to value, all those different factors, what type of property it is. And so I do really want to try to educate people on rate and how it's priced out. And, some lenders will kind of start forward with, here's this great rate. And then there's all these fees to buy the rate down. I'm kind of the opposite. I like to start with the 0-point rate and explain that you can buy it down. I'd rather be very straightforward with the borrower and not try to sell them, because I want, and then I tell borrowers too, when we go through an estimate, here's what the payment's going to be. Here's the cash to close. You need a little flexibility in that, because rates change every day. Taxes are different on different properties, HOA, things like that. So again, that's why I feel like education is super important.
Key. Yeah.
Another thing to point out, if there's any borrowers listening that maybe are self-employed or own a business, we have a lot of great programs in-house at Guild where we calculate the income based on the borrower's business tax returns or 1099s or profit and loss. And I just love that we have these, because again, it's giving more opportunity to more borrowers.
Got it. And in this workshop, are you talking about self-employed borrowers as well, or is that something different?
I probably won't dive deep into that, but I will have a time for questions. So if there's someone wants to talk about how that works, I'm happy to either address it in the presentation or address it after the general session. But there's a lot of power when it comes to these different programs. I had a borrower a couple months ago that his income was doubled when we calculate it based on bank statements and then the tax returns. And so this just opened up so much for this borrower, and the interest rate is only like 1/8 or 1/4 higher, and it's in-house at Guild. We can do it quickly. Again, it's just more opportunity for more borrowers.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. This is great information. So thank you for coming and sharing with our audience, and hopefully we put out the word and we can get some folks to take advantage of this great opportunity. So let's go ahead and put out Julia's information so that everybody can reach out to her. So if you are trying to get a hold of Julia, there is Julia's number. If you want to register for her program, there is Julia's email address that you can reach out to her. or you can also reach out to her on her website, and there is Julia's website information. Is there any other info that we can share with everybody, Julia, that we can put out there?
Just, if you want to come on Saturday, please reach out and let me know. And I will be having another homebuyer workshop next quarter. So when that information is, I will publish that. This one is on a Saturday, so we can have families come or anyone that's more available on Saturday. But next quarter, we're going to do an weeknight evening. That might work better for some people. So I'll share that information when the time comes.
That sounds great. Okay. All right, everybody. And of course, if you want to reach out to us with questions about home buying process or selling process, we want to be your go-to person. There is my phone number for you to call or text. And there is Santiago's phone number, and you can reach out to him. You can give us a follow on Instagram, or you can reach us on our website as well. And if you like to email us, there's our email address as well. So as always, we thank you for joining us today. And if you find this program useful, please give us a thumbs up and click on that subscribe button so that you can be notified for future notifications that we send out, and make it a great day. And thank you so much, Julia, for joining us and for sharing this valuable information with us today.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Julia. Bye, everyone.
Mm-hmm.